he said an arm's length and not beyond that. An arm's length over the men's pants. The sister, why? To cover her feet. So then that's another thing that the people have become easy, where the sister will wear. You know, this is one of the funny things that we're having in the, what is this, the 21st century? I think I lost track. We have turned things around. You see, the ruling of keeping the pants above the ankles is for the brothers. And the sisters are supposed to keep their clothes below the ankles. Today it's the other way around. It is the brothers who walk around with their pants below their ankles, and the sister that is walking around with her jilbab above her ankles. This is a big misconception. Furthermore, it entails imitating the other gender, which also brings curse. Now the man is imitating woman by dragging his clothes, and the woman is imitating man by keeping her pants above the ankles. So the sisters should cover their feet, and the brothers should keep their pants above the ankles. Hijab. Already, mashallah. Hijab. What about the hijab? Allah al-Musta'an about the hijab. Allah says in the Quran, كل المؤمنات يغضضن من أبصارهن ويحفظن فروجهن ولا يبدين زينتهن إلا ما ظهر منها وليضربن بخمرهن على جيوبهن ولا يبدين زينتهن إلا, and Allah mentioned those who are excluded from that. Tell the believing women to lower their gaze from looking at haram things and to protect their private parts. And the same ruling came for the men in the ayah before. Tell the believing men to lower their gaze. So brother in Islam, you cannot stand in front of a sister and talk to her like you're talking to me right now. Sister, how are you? How's everything? MashaAllah. That's no. Allah says, lower your gaze. And Prophet ﷺ said, the first look is yours, the one that happens by mistake. Then afterwards, khalas. Unless in case of necessity, and there's a whole other exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, that's a no. Anyways, tell the believing woman to lower their gaze, protect their private parts, and to do not show their adornment except that which appears naturally, the outer clothing, or according to some ulama, the face and the hands. And let's say that this is okay, exposing the face and the hands. And let them not show that, let them stripe their veils over their bosoms, meaning their chest, their head, hair, and their face with the ears. The only thing that is exposed is here and the hands. This is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let them not show their adornment except to their husbands and their fathers and those who are maharim. Everybody else, no. Everybody else, no. يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن ذلك أدنى أن يعرفن فلا يؤذين وكان الله غفورا رحيما. O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters ونساء المؤمنين and the believing women to draw their veils over their bodies. Cover yourselves. This is better and closer, that you will be known as a respected woman, so you will not be harmed or annoyed. And verily Allah is all forgiving, the most merciful. So then the ruling is clear that the sister must cover herself. And sisters, the hijab is not only the clothing, it is your attitude. It is a whole attitude. Your hijab also includes how you dress. Wearing a jilbab with a heart. Have you seen it? With a heart on the back. With rainbow colors. Yes, Sheikh. What does that mean? Love me? What? I mean, I want an interpretation. For the sake of Allah, give me a better interpretation. What does it mean for a sister to walk around the jilbab that has a heart on the back? What else, Shani? What do you mean? We know when you were 5 years old, if you like some girl next to you in school, you will draw a heart for her. We know what the heart means. You see ajaib today, silver things and blah blah light. The hijab became a fitna. The hijab itself became attractive, and the whole objective of the hijab is the sister to be ignored. She is supposed to be boring, unattractive. The men should find nothing to look at afterwards. Otherwise, you fall into the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, "Sinfani min ahli an-nar, min ummati lam arahuma." And he mentioned nisa'un kasiyatun, ariyatun, ma'ilatun, mumilatun, ala ru'usihinna ka'asminati al-bukht al-ma'ila, la yadkhulunna al-jannah wa la yajidna rihaha. Prophet ﷺ said there are two groups of people from my ummah, from the people of the fire I have not seen during my time. Then he mentioned women that are dressed but naked, seducing others and being seduced. Their heads are like the humps of the camels leaning onto one side. They will not enter Jannah, nor will they smell its fragrance. And the scholars have explained this hadith in a number of ways. Either the clothing are too tight, where it shows it's too thin, where it shows it's too attractive, where it makes the person look again, or it shows some of the inner garment or some of her flesh, anything that may fall under that. Kasiyatun ariyah, they're dressed, but they're naked. What if the man looked at them? He will continue to be attracted. Once that is the case, then we are failing drastically, my sisters in Islam. This is an obligation from Allah. And we should do this willingly for the sake of Allah. Not because we're being forced or we're being threatened. Why don't we worship Allah? Why don't we obey Allah? What do we have to lose? What are we losing? Don't you want Jannah? Do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not intend that you implement these in your life when He revealed, isn't this protection for the Muslim sister? Wallahi it is. So the sister must conduct herself in a particular fashion, in her dress code, in her behavior, in her speech. She doesn't sound too soft. And it's our responsibility, the men, to make sure that this is how our women folks are conducting themselves. It becomes an obligation upon us. It should come from the sisters naturally. It shouldn't be forced upon them. But if the case is otherwise, then you are responsible, akhi, to make sure that your family members are living by the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another thing that has many misconceptions, and we're actually almost done. I would like to conclude this particular lecture with the hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith which is sahih, hadith Nu'man ibn Bashir radiallahu anhu wa ardah. He said, the Messenger قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الحلال بين والحرام بين وبينهما أمور مشتبهات لا يعلمهن كثير من الناس فمن اتقى الشبهات أمن لدينه وعرضه أو استبرأ لدينه وعرضه ومن وقع في الشبهات وقع في الحرام كالراعي يرعى حول الحمى يوشك أن يقع فيه ألا وأن لكل ملك حمى ألا وأن حمى الله محارمه ألا وأن في الجسد مضغة إذا صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب. The Prophet ﷺ said, just in case you disagreed with me, just in case you disagreed with me regarding the pictures or the music or any of the things that were mentioned earlier, the Messenger of Allah taught me and you, halal is clear and haram is clear and evident. And between them are doubtful things that many people do not know. Be careful. Between them, doubtful things many people do not know. Then he said, whoever avoids these doubtful things has protected his religious commitment and his honor. You leave them alone, and you will be protecting your commitment with Allah, and your dignity and your honor. And whoever falls into them, he will be falling into haram. Then he gave us the example, like a shepherd with his flock, and he is grazing them around someone else's pasture. He said, يُوشِكُ أَن يَقَعَ فِيهِ. One of the sheep is about to go in, and I will strike it. Imagine, visualize this. You are a shepherd, you have 50 sheep with you, and you are feeding them near someone else's private property. Can you stop the 50 sheep from going in? What are the chances of you being able to stop? One of them may sneak. Ya Shaykh, one of them will sneak. He said, this is the chance of you falling into haram when you fall into the doubtful things. يُوشِكُ أَن يَقَعَ فِيهِ. He's about to fall into that private property that you're not supposed to eat from. Then he said the bottom line of things, just in case we don't understand, verily in the body there's a piece of flesh. If it is sound, then the whole body will be sound. If it is corrupt, then the whole body will be corrupt, and it is the heart. If you leave alone the doubtful things, meaning your heart is sound. If you continue to fall into them, meaning your heart is not sound. If your heart is not sound, your whole body is not sound. If your body is not sound, then Jahannam